Hello, everybody. Hello, Demiplane. I am Dillin, and we are very excited to bring you the first episode of Enemy of My Enemy. But before we jump into anything, we have a little bit of housekeeping to get through. Drak, my love, would you take it away?
Yes. So again, hi everyone to the premiere of Enemy of My Enemy. We have a lot of people to thank for being able to make this happen, but the two people we definitely want to thank is Demiplane, of course, who is going to be the home of this show. Thank you so much for that, Demiplane, and Hero Forge. They are actually sponsoring, as you can see somewhere on this overlay. Hero Forge offers fully customizable tabletop miniatures with dozens of species and thousands of parts to make your characters from. So you can check it out at heroforge.com. We're also using VTM or Vampire the Masquerade and Hunter the Reckoning books on Demiplane's Nexus and to make playing and referencing rules nice and easy. And if you want to give it a try, you can actually maybe win a bundle here in chats. Every episode of Enemy of My Enemy, we're going to be giving away a Vampire the Masquerade Ultimate Bundle and a Hunter the Reckoning core book. So keep an eye in chat, and our moderators will tell you exactly how to enter this giveaway. And it'll be happening every episode. So if you don't win this episode, we've got 4 more episodes you might win it in. That's pretty much it. Housekeeping wise, we'll go to introductions. And since I'm talking and I like the sound of my voice, I want to keep talking and introduce myself. Hi, I'm Jack or Draconics. I use he, they pronouns, and I'm the project manager of this, the project lead of this, or say TTRPG performer, writer, producer, anything and everything TTRPG related I am doing or will be doing. And God, what else? I'm excited to play Enoch. You're gonna learn a lot about him, I think, even in just this episode alone, let alone the rest of it. But I'm gonna now throw it over to Amihan.
Oh, thank you, Drak. Hi, everybody. I'm Amihan. I use he, they pronouns. I'm also known as the Rose Cleric on social media. I'm here today playing Tiwala. I put a lot of love and care into creating this guy. He also uses he, they pronouns. Just very excited. I'm a TTRPG artist performer. It's kind of new to me, but I'm excited to play. I'm very excited about this game. All right, I am going to pass it over to Matt.
Hell yeah. Dillin, do you want to join me? Hello, beautiful, wonderful people. Hi, thank you so much for coming along. I appreciate it so much. My name is Matt, Captain Crail on all things. I'm a little bit of a TTRPG guy. I also do some streaming on the side, but the main thing that I do is now this is literally the sexiest thing I've ever said in my life.
Say it.
Now award-nominated actual play podcast, The Adamless. The Adamless, which is like it's a Starfinder game. Yes, let's go. It's a Starfinder game. It's like this big space opera about a group of broken people flying on a broken ship and trying to fix what they can. There is the actual play, which is a video, which is on our YouTube channel. But then I kind of use that as just a recording, and then I take that away. I edit out all the mechanics talk. I add in music and sound effects, and I make it into this audio play. And then that is on podcast form on any podcast medium. That is the Adamless. Okay. I'm going to throw it over to my character's arch nemesis, Raven, if you want to do a little... Arch nemesis?
That's very bold speak.
My character's not necessarily. It's not a mutual thing.
I like you just fine. Auguste, on the other hand. Anyway, hi, I'm Raven, also known as Wreck-It Raven on the internet. I am a TTRPG performer, player, little baby GM. I have been. I don't know, I'm just honored to be here. Do you see, everybody who's here? This is amazing. I'm so excited. I'm like a little kid in a candy store. I am playing Madame Ime, who is, yes, a Ventru, and apparently has many arch nemesis. Nemesis? I just like talking with the fangs in, if I'm honest. And I'm gonna pass it along to Stella.
Hello, I'm Stellaluna on Twitch, Stellaluna TV on all other social media. I'm a TTRPG producer and performer. I'm so very happy to be here today. All these lovely people. This is going to be such an epic story that we're going to tell here. So thank you so much for being here. Today I will be playing Kim Raelyn. Both of us use she, they pronouns. And yeah, I will pop it over to Hamnah.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Hamnah. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer and producer. You can find me over on all of the social medias at Lilith TTRPG. And I guess if we're talking about exciting news, I am also a cast member of now the award-nominated Itaewon by Night, which returns for season 2 very, very soon. So keep an eye out on Bad House RPG's social media channels for exciting news about that. But today I will be playing Fanaa, who uses they, them pronouns, and Fanaa is a salubri vampire. And that's all you get to know about them for now. For now, I will pass it up and over to our illustrious GM, Dillin.
Hello, I am Dillin or Super Dillin. Either of those things are fine to call me. I use she, he, and they pronouns. And I am a principal cast member on the Atom List. That's where you can find me most of the time, playing Ig, the little rat lady who can talk to computers. And I am super thrilled to be bringing this just to tell you the Storyteller system and these games. This universe was my very first role-playing game. It was my very first universe to play in. And it's been my dream to do a cross splat where we take two of these games and mix them together into an actual play. This is finally my opportunity to do so. So I'm really, really thankful to Demiplane and for Drak and everybody here who is on board for something like this. I think we should really get started. We have a quick message to play for you before we do. But after that, when we return, we will jump right into our chronicle.
Include death, minor violence and or gore, exsanguination, blood, hunger, memory and or thought manipulation, classism, betrayal, romance, party conflict, heights, and real-life religion and political allegory. Everyone on this show has a set of safety tools to use if anything in our game becomes triggering for us, but we want you, the audience, to remain safe as well. If anything occurs that is triggering to you, please look after yourself and step away if you need to. And remember, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
I'm not a monster. We say that a lot. when we are the most uncertain. There is a superstitious belief that there is something out there capable of things worse than you can possibly imagine, and certainly worse than whatever it is that you've done to disappoint yourself. Some do take that sense of comfort a little too far. However, visit, for example, the streets of Manhattan, the best city or the worst city in the world, never anything in between. There is a cacophony of sounds as we pan north through Central Park. The turning leaves of the trees fall and drift into strollers and onto the heads of sweater wrapped couples as they walk through the park. Northern still, the streets struggled in gridlocked traffic as pedestrians and car horns fight with each other for the loudest possible volume over taxis and the rising costs of hot dogs. Turning down left and right a few city blocks and then a few more, the sounds start to get a little bit quieter until we make our way to a relatively quiet alley. Still not peaceful necessarily, but quieter. There are broken bits of cobblestone in the street here. There is an overhang that hangs out into the middle of the street, obscuring a little bit of sunlight, but not all. And on a crooked piece of sidewalk, a soapbox preacher is taking a rest. A sign tucked under his arm that says, "Monsters are everywhere and evil is coming." He is right for all the wrong reasons. As we look across the street, just on the other side, a set of chipped stone steps that lead up to a quaint wooden door. Inside, T, would you like to tell me what your shop looks like when we walk inside?
Right. Yes. So, um, before you walk inside, the first thing that'll greet you is a sign at the top. It's cute. It's just bold red lettering that says Moonlit Roots. That's the name of their rather kitschy little uh religious goods store, we'll say. The first thing you see are a collection of wind chimes, copper wind chimes, and then maybe you would follow a trail of incense smoke, um, the smell of lavender and sandalwood filling the air. Maybe there's a gust of wind kind of pushing through, um, making the chimes kind of sound as you walk in. And you quickly notice that there's a bright display of crystals, like probably to your right here.
Yeah.
And then over your left there's candles, and then there's herbs, um an assortment of tarot decks, you know, typical typical
Yeah.
metaphysical shop.
I think that right around this time, it's late in the day, not terribly too long before you'd normally start to wind down in business. Um but a group of teenagers, uh all kind of uh gothically dressed, kind of pile into the store and find their way over to your tarot selection, your crystal selection, are looking about occasionally giggling, like poking each other, like tugging on each other's arms. And one like young kind of androgynous looking teen with thick black eyeshadow turns to you and like comes up with like a book about like manifesting things into your life and is like, does this work? Like, really?
Well, I mean, why else are you here?
Well, like, I don't know. I figured, I mean, it's like, it's not real, right?
Well, if it's not real, then what? Then what is this? What am I in front of you? Who am I? Where am I? Why am I? Sorry, I'm just messing with you.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Mm.
Well, you see, I like to think that a lot of what magic is simply thought, right? You think thoughts
Yeah, I have, yeah,
sometimes,
I've got thoughts. Yeah.
probably, right? You know,
Uh-huh.
some of y'all have thoughts. But yes. Well, and I think they kind of did they like hand it to them, or is it just like they're holding it up?
Yeah, they like have it like outstretched to you.
Oh, all right. So I think they take it from their hands, and um, they say, the power of thought is something that people often underestimate. A lot of times, people are often thinking of the future, right? What do you have to do tomorrow?
Algebra test?
Algebra test, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I imagine that's pretty important.
Uh, you know, I guess. I
I
like,
guess.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of important, I guess. I don't want to do bad on it because I I want to have a decent summer.
A decent summer.
Well, yeah. If I don't do better this year, then next year is going to be,
I see. Well, I imagine you're pretty stressed out about the algebra test, right?
it's okay, sure. It's the algebra test, but it's like not about the algebra test. Like there's, you know,
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's see. You want to have a good summer, right? Is that what you're saying? Sorry, I'm trying to
I
trying to
w-
clarify.
I wanna. It's just, well, if I do well, then I can go out and like kind of like nods over their shoulder at like one of the other two teens that's there that's like giving eyes back at them like a little bit. And it's like, if I get myself grounded again, then I can't. So like, if I do what's in this book, will I like do well on my algebra test?
Hmm. Yes, if you follow the instructions correctly. All you have to do is maybe write it down or say it out loud. Light a candle. And then like I think T might like put a candle in their hand, just like throw that in there. Light a candle. Help bring more energy into the room with you as you're doing it, right?
Okay. Uh
Um,
she like just like shovels like crumpled money like into your hand.
okay. Yeah, this is you want change for this at all?
Oh, yeah, I didn't really look at the cost, but like, just
Okay. all right, kid. Hold on a moment. And then like I think they like go back around like they get the change out, but then they also like I think they like they scoop like a little those little tiny versions of the crystals in there. Like
Yes. Yeah, just like
they scoop
decorative.
yeah,
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 yeah.
a little decorative like amethyst and like rose quartz, a bunch of like, typical ones. And then they're like, here for you, put a little extra something in there for you.
Thanks. Thanks. Thanks.
Yes, it should
Um
definitely work.
like shoves it in a like safety pin and sticker adorned saddlebag, and like hustles back to their friends, and um like just grabs uh the two of them by the elbow, although one of them a little bit more tightly than the other, and like they kind of pull them out of the store. As they're like walking to leave, and like maybe catching their eye on a few more baubles before they do, the door to your shop slams open, and a older woman, older than these teen girls, in her 20s, 30s, maybe, uh, kind of stumbles in, distraught looking, frazzled hair, awry, eyes with visible bags from sleeplessness, still in what looks to be like pajamas with like a cardigan sweater wrapped around, and like kind of leans almost immediately on your counter, like not even paying attention to the group of teens who are now like looking curiously, and paused. I you have to help me.
Yes, sure. And I think they're going to just kind of usher like out the teenagers by being like, "Oh, have a good day, y'all. I'm getting ready to close up shop." You know.
Oh. Oh, okay, okay. They reluctantly leave, as it looked like it was just about to get good. And they idle just a bit, looking
Sure.
in the window on their way out before they finally make their way.
And so they approach this older woman, and they say, "What's wrong? What do you need help with?"
Um, something is tormenting me. Uh, it won't let me sleep, won't let me eat, it won't let me think or breathe. It's everywhere, and I hear it all the time, and I can't deal with it anymore. You have to help.
Okay. Can I ask if this is like any similar to what T might have experienced ever? Like, does it sound similar?
It's it certainly sounds similar, although for you, there's more to it. You
Mm-hmm.
can certainly see more. Um, but it's this definitely sounds familiar. People have come into this shop before saying things somewhat similar before, and it hasn't turned out to be what you think. But this does raise a few red flags.
Okay. Um, and so I think they'll see the way they're dressed, I guess, and then go, "This is obviously putting you through a crisis. Would you say something's haunting you?"
I have never, ever believed in anything like that before. I've never been in a place like this. I don't think that that's real, even,
Okay.
but it has to be.
Yes, it has to be. And I think they're a little bit um I guess uh they find themselves like a little shocked at like just the quick shift of like tone. Like obviously this sort of business goes back and forth. Like you never know who's like a customer and who's a customer for um I guess the higher level of
Yes.
jobs. And so uh I think they will say, "Do you mind waiting here? Just a second.
Sure.
I might need to go uh fetch out something better for you here."
Sure. She like
Um
clutches herself and backs to the corner of the counter. Oh, ooh,
Sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
you're okay. You're so okay.
Gonna happen, but yeah. Can you repeat that so I can?
She just sort of clutches herself and backs into your counter while you step away.
Um, and I think before they do that, they kind of like it's like kind of awkward. Uh, they're sort of like they stand there like not sure what to do, and then they like to help comfort this woman, so they like quickly just kind of grab like selenite off the shelf and like give her something to hold and like here this will help ground you. Bye. And then they
Grips it, white knuckled.
and they run to the stock room, um and then they take their time though, um and they make sure that like she's not like actually like looking peering into the room that they just went into, closing the
Mhm.
door. And so um in the back there's like a set of curtains like behind like this kind of four-tier shelf with a bunch of boxes of like probably crystal jewelry imported from uh uh ethically sourced jewelers. So they pull back that curtain and then there's like just like a little kind of door they open, and as soon as they open this door, it's kind of like it's a little narrow, but it has to be so that any prying eyes wouldn't be able to discover it. They walk into their back room, and what you see is just completely different energy from the front of the store.
Mhm.
The back room is just kind of dimly lit. Um, there is like lighting, but like it's dimly lit, and no decorations, none of the I guess um magic capitalism that's happening in the front there. Uh,
Yeah.
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 And they look up at one of the shelves that they have, like I guess with an assortment of like just crucifixes, rosaries. I think they just grab a rosary and then like they cover it with some sort of oil they find and then like kind of run back out.
Okay.
And they come to the front here. And they return to the lady. And they go, um, I imagine you're terrified right now, right?
Yes. And
Okay.
tired.
Yes, I'm tired. I'm so sorry for what you're going through. If you take this and say this prayer, and then they kind of like they have like on their person like just little prayers to like just give out to people, you know, in case they need to and they're on the go. And they say this prayer to Saint Michael. It'll cast whatever you need out.
Okay. Do you mind if I do it here?
Here.
Can, just so I'm not alone.
Sure. Whatever you need, I'll be here for you. And I think I think they kind of like, huh, I probably should have grabbed like something else from the back before I got and so I think they're a little bit fatigued, but they're like, you know what? Fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
To whatever's gonna happen.
She like just shaking, exasperated, but like with so much conviction says this prayer, which I totally know. And it as as she's moving through this prayer and getting through it, the like line around her starts to become more defined, as if she was about to pop out, um as if she were being just sort of made more dimensional. That line that thickens and darkens grows wider and wider and spreads out, and within this like filter that extends past her, you start to see a familiar place. You start to see this vision of the other side. It looks like your shop, but in this muted grayish tone. And you see it appear behind her, except you see then the vision of the thing that has been haunting her. A much, much older looking man, um, who is clearly incorporeal, very, very much someone who has crossed over. This old man who is hovering behind her is reaching out, and as this like gray tone reveals him, you can hear him trying to call out this woman's name. He is calling out to Sarah over and over again. And you can hear now, you see that like the flinches that she's making are these like times where he is calling out her name. And she starts to get through the prayer, and you start to see him start to waft away.
Okay. um I'm trying to see if I can use something here.
Okay.
I know we just kind of use sort of like an artifact, but let me see here. I'm trying to give me
If you
one
would like
moment.
to tell me what you would like to do, I
Okay.
can make a suggestion if you don't have a specific ability in mind.
Okay, yeah. That would be helpful. So I want to see why the specific, spirit is calling out to her before it completely like is detached from her.
Absolutely. Yes, of course. I think if you wanted to just talk to him directly, when you can see into this world, when you can see past the veil,
Mhm.
you have and can communicate. I would just say that depending on the way that you want to do that, you're going to roll occult with either charisma or manipulation, depending on what kind of approach you're taking with him when you speak.
Okay. Um okay, I'd say okay, I'm gonna try the charisma angle.
Okay.
Here. And I'm gonna use the dice roller here. Give me a second. Um how would I do this here? Let me okay. Let's see here. You said charisma and Sorry, I'm still getting used to this.
You're doing amazing.
I'm doing amazing, I promise. Okay. The pool size modifier. Ooh, okay. I think that's gonna be. I'm sorry here. I am having difficulty figuring this out here. I
So
apologize.
so what you can do you have if you want to roll physical dice, you could also do
Yes.
that.
Okay.
Just roll 4 roll as many dice you have in your occult pool plus
Okay.
the amount that you have in your charisma pool. Roll them all together and
Okay.
tell me all of the ones that are 6 or more and any that are 1s. Those are the 2 pieces of information I need.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are more than 6, and then there's only one that's 2. Um,
Okay, but no 1s.
no ones, no.
Fantastic. All right, so tell me what do you say or what do you do to try to reach him?
Okay. Yeah. So I think what they say is well, first they go, "Oh Lord, I thought this was at your house. I didn't know it was on you. Oh my God." And so so then they go, "Okay." Um and they say, Do you know her? Is that why you're calling her name?"
She looks confused. He turns to you with a snap. You can see me.
"I can see you perfectly clear, and you're kind of terrorizing this woman right now."
Terrorizing her. No, 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 no. I'm not terrorizing her. I need to get her attention.
I mean, you got her attention all right, but I don't think you're doing a spectacular job of it. I don't think she can I don't think she knows it's you, number one.
Well, how do I tell her it's me? How do I tell her that I'm here?
Listen, all I need is your name, and I can talk to her for you. Does that sound all right?
Okay. You can tell her it's her dad.
Oh, you're her father. Okay. He does say that out loud. He says, "Oh, you're her father." And then I think after they like look, they shift their gaze over to the woman and they go, uh, "Your father is trying to get your attention. Um, rather unfortunate, the way
That
he chose."
that can't be. Why would he do it like that? Why would he try to ruin my life like that? No, my dad was a good man, and this is something different.
Ruin. Well, um, I can't say that messages from loved ones on the other side are always going to be doves sent with butterflies and flowers, but and then they shift their attention back to the father, and then they say, um "What have you done?"
I just keep trying to get her attention.
"Yes, but does that attention have to come at the cost of her life and her sanity?"
You see as she has started to re-mutter the prayer, just shaking her head and like keeping it going, he starts to like lift away even faster, and he says, I wasn't trying to scare her. I was trying to save her. And she runs through the prayer as he drifts away, up and gone and out of sight. And the gray comes back in, and she is visibly relieved and like lets go of so much tension. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. So you were totally wrong about that being my dad, but you, it worked. You are so the real deal. I did not believe it, but oh my God. Oh my God.
Do you need anything else? And they look a little stunned. It's like they like hear the ghost words like kind of repeating in their head, and like but they return back to this woman and they go, do you need anything else, like, at all?
What do you what do I owe you? You just I'm gonna go to sleep. Oh, I can't wait to sleep.
Don't worry about it. It's on the house. It's fine. Don't. I'm glad. I'm glad you found peace. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for whatever the spirit put you through. And if you can keep the rosary, in case anything ever pops up for you again. And they kind of like, their whole demeanor has shifted from like just somebody that was like, ready to sell stuff to the next willing customer, to like someone who's like really concerned about what happened here. And so they I think they like step back a couple of times and then like kind of catch themselves, because that experience was like super overwhelming. And they just nod and go, yeah, I'm just about to close up. I'm about to, yeah. Here, close up."
Amazing. Well, thanks for this. And she like flips the rosary around in her hand so that it's like clutched in her palm. She goes, it's so funny. I've never had one, but my dad carried one like this all the time. Thank you so much. And she runs out of the shop.
T kind of watches her run, and then they like lean against the counter, and they look up at like the ceiling, kind of like, just not like at anybody in particular, and they go, am I even doing the right thing anymore? And they like, they press their fingers to pinch the bridge of their nose, and then I think, oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, what'd you say?
No, I think it's just they're just extremely fatigued by that, because talking, sorry, talking to spirits takes a lot of energy out of them, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There is just the slight little crack of gray that you don't see, no one would see, but were there an audience would see, just behind T as you asked that question. And then it closes back up. We will travel to a few blocks down to a what I'm assuming, you know what, actually, August, tell me about your sad apartment. It feels like it's sad to me.
Wow. I'll have you know that it has been manicured to perfection to seem like the most normal house that has ever existed.
That's not,
It's not sad
doesn't
at
change
all.
what I said. You go, but go.
Auguste's house, for all intents and purposes, in every sense of the word, is normal. It's lived in. There are a few perfectly placed coffee rings and some religious artifacts from traveling and some neatly packed quick change of clothes. Everything seems to have a place. Even the mess is perfect. There is only a slight inconsistency in the normality of the house, and it's that there aren't any pictures, really. Any old friends, nights out. There are no holidays or family portraits, except one that Auguste almost wants to forget is there. Doesn't ever look straight at it. It's this one picture of a much younger Auguste, his still piercing green eyes, this same hair length, but a bit shaggier, on a balcony, smiling with another young man that Auguste has his arm across. The young man in the picture is almost in stark contrast to this 20-year older man, about 46, late 40s. There is this sense that every part of softness of his soul, not on his face, but like in him, has been manicured again, chiseled away, and like pushed in a direction that the other leaning parts of softness that couldn't be physically chiseled through work gave up. They got up and left. And he sits doing what normal people do. He is sat in his front room, a few papers stacked neatly, used papers in front of him, documents, correspondence with some people. His phone is in clear view just in case it lights up, and he's reading a book, a classic, Moby Dick, a classic book that a lot of people know and have read, and this book has clearly seen a lot of use, cover to cover, quite a few times. His shaggy hair is now slicked back, and the grey hairs from age and stress of work have come in and now joined his slicked back hair. He's wearing just a ruffled up, a white shirt that is rolled up to the elbow. He's in relaxing mode at the minute.
You relax for a while, and reading Moby Dick. When your Google alerts go off for the day, this is not in relation to a particular job. It's just looking for anything that could tip you off, anything suspicious, any of the clues. The alerts today mostly look pretty phony. Maybe a couple of articles that might lead you somewhere, but coming up with a whole lot of nothing.
Hmm. I think the quiet of today, boring isn't the right word, but there is good to be done. And the book has been read. It can wait a little longer. Auguste will take the book, bookmark in it, put it back on the bookshelf, straighten the books, pick up his phone, roll down his sleeves and button them so that he's presentable for the outside, grab an old, well-loved bomber jacket, and I think we'll begin to get ready to go on a small night ride around, just to follow up on some previous leads.
Sorry, y'all. My mic came unplugged for a second there. Great. I would like you, when you check your phone, to just make me a quick wits and investigation as you scroll through.
I would love to do that. Okay, so that is 8. Auguste is not strong, but boy howdy, are they smart.
So smart.
So smart. It's D10, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Brilliant. So and we're going for above 6 and above.
6 and above.
So we have 1, 6, a 9. We have a 10, and we also have a 1.
Okay, 10 and the 1 cancel each other out. So how many did you say aside from that?
So above 6 is 2. We have a 6 and a 9. And then we have a 2, 3, and 2 4s. I don't know if they
mean nothing to me.
Love that.
Nothing.
Love that.
So you scrolling through the what sort of happens as you're looking and you grab your jacket, the words on the page on this screen, these news alerts, there's so many familiar terms from all of the many tabloids and fringe articles and paranoid sites that you look through day in and day out. They are blending together as you scroll, and you sort of have a moment of like deja vu that is so strong and is so many times that it gives you pause for a moment. You find yourself kind of stuck just for a minute as you regain your bearings. A memory kind of gnawing at you to be revisited. Do you let yourself revisit it?
He won't, but it happens anyway. it
Okay.
forces its way through his disagreements with it.
And this memory, like every time you revisit it, you're on the roof. And you hear the door to the roof entrance slam behind you. And you see him there. But this time, unlike every other time, because you've relived this memory so many times, that as he opens his mouth to speak to you, you can already tell that it's wrong. And he starts to say something. And you sort of snap back out of that memory before the words have a chance to escape. You're back in your apartment. It's normal. Your phone dings with another alert. Do you still go out for a ride?
Time is it?
Just after dusk.
Something kind of triggers in him. It's he wants to go out and pick up leads and try and investigate this one target that he has been, but there's this weird nagging feeling of a need to just hear another person.
Mm-hmm.
So is going to visit one of his previous clients, a family member that he's done work for, someone around his age, a mother who he's done a lot of work for, not done a lot of work for, but done work for a while ago, a few years ago now.
Okay. Is it who I think you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think what we should do, we should take a little break as August travels. It's a fair bit of distance you have to go. And when we come back, we'll see what that is like. And then we'll meet the rest of our characters. But please, everyone, take a stretch. I believe there's a giveaway happening right now. And grab a drink. And come back and we'll be here. We'll be here when you return. Hello, everybody. Thank you. Welcome back. Thank you for being on break with us. I'm going to jump right back in because we did get started a little late and I want you to meet all these characters. August, your journey downtown to a townhouse with overgrown moss all over the front, a broken gate that doesn't lock, and a familiar cobblestone walkway. There's a sign on the gate, also crooked, that says, "Beware of dog." There's no dog. You know that. You've been here. What do you do?
Did Auguste drive up? Are they next to their car? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
as they pull up, it's just the sounds of a car. They don't have any music on. They turn the they turn the engine off and leave almost immediately. Almost no time for the car to like rest itself. If he can be doing something, he will be. Walks over to the side of the car and takes a small casserole dish filled with this very like nice looking food, generic food,
Mm-hmm.
and then walks up through the hedges, looking like straight forward all the way to the door, and then knocks.
There's a slow response. You hear, and the movement within, the shuffle of feet, and the door does eventually open. A older lady who has kind of soft but tired eyes, has a book clutched in her hands, and looks unsurprised to see you.
Hello.
Oh, Auguste.
Hmm.
Having one of those days?
I thought you might need to eat.
I suppose I could always eat. Come on in. And she steps aside, lets you inside.
Walks in and gives a brief look around the surroundings. Doesn't snoop or go anywhere where their presence could be questioned.
Mm-hmm.
How have you been?
I'm getting along. You know.
Hmm.
I have my stories.
It is good to keep occupied. Would you mind if I served you a plate?
Of course. You know where everything is. She sits down at the kitchen table and waits as you do your routine.
Small, like, apron that they pull out of a briefcase that they were carrying at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It puts on the apron to serve everything. Walks over and places a plate in front of her, and then turns the plate slightly to make it all line up. Knives and forks. I apologize. I did not have time to make any sides or appetizers.
Like pats your hand. It's a casserole, dear. It does the job. And now I do appreciate that you've come to see me again. But I do wish that you had some friends to spend your time with. Is there anyone you've met, someone special?
I am not sure that Auguste understands the sentiment behind the question. Auguste takes it like there is no like movement on his face as he thinks what a pleasure that must be to have that in your life. That time has left years ago. Can't do that anymore. And there's a small, imperceptible smile that isn't quite as imperceptible as it would be if it was a real smirk, but again, it is for her benefit, not his. No. Not yet. Perhaps one day.
She puts her hands over yours. I hope so. Auguste, dear, I am so grateful to you. You know that. I do believe you. You helped me with something impossible. Darling, you do know it was also the worst day of my life. I do want you to be well. This is hard each time. Catch a glimpse behind her, the wedding photo, still polished in its silver frame, her next to a younger version of a man you recognize.
When people are taken by illness, it is important to have conversation with others who have experienced the same thing. But I understand.
I want you to find peace. I'm afraid I just have less time to find peace than you do, darling. And you can like sense like the shake in her hands as she like lifts them from yours. She was old when you met, older still, and is looking it. Just I need I need I need peace. I'm so sorry that you know what this is like, but you dredge it up again when you walk through that door.
casserole will keep. You just need to microwave it a few minutes.
Thank you.
He leaves still stiff-backed and assured, but is like as soon as he walks past the door and the door closes, there is this like he's not quite sure, a fury, this like white hot anger, or an indescribably deep longing. He can't read his own mind as he walks back to the car, opens the door, and starts the engine and continues on.
So you drive away just for a moment. The image of that wedding photo wrapped in antique silver that you saw on her shelf comes back into your mind. And just as you are driving along the familiar route back to your neighborhood, as the autopilot engages in your mind, wanders that photo in your mind for one moment, switches back to a photo in your apartment of you and Harvey. And so quickly, it turns gray. You hear, you see his mouth move, and you hear, Auguste, wait. And you're back on the road. I think we will revisit Auguste later, and we will check in on Enoch. Enoch, it is a autumn, breezy, kind of windy evening, the start of dusk in New York City. On an average Thursday evening, what would Enoch be up to? What would Enoch be doing?
Oh, I have a couple of questions first to be able to answer that question.
Please.
Is it a weekday or weekend?
It is a weekday, a Thursday.
Oh, you said, sorry, I'm
No, you're so good.
not listening. And my other question would be, would high school still be going on, or is this kind of like the break?
Yes, it is fall, so it's high school would still be happening.
In that case, I think you would see Enoch. Enoch is, let me describe him first. He's
Please
about
do.
6'1", black mask presenting person. He currently is in probably a satin, kind of baggy, oversized, but meant to be that way, top with all of its buttons right down to the center of his abdomen undone. A silver chain around his neck, and several piercings around his ears, all of them hanging with silver to match the chain. Slim fit jeans, kind of like black combat boots, and several rings on his fingers, and a very gnarly scar along the right side of his face that goes from his lip to just beneath his eye. All in all, he seems kind of like a classic stereotypical scary person. very bulky. You can tell that he is at the very least physically fit.
Yeah.
Not from any kind of weightlifting or bodybuilding, but from just from labor, like kind of like a muscle built from physical labor over the years. And I think right now school's still going on. It's in the evening. I think he's coming back from work. He's walking back from a small club that he's a bouncer of, and I think on weekdays he asked to leave early. Evening is pretty early for a night, any kind of club, especially a nightclub. But he leaves around the evening to get home in time, to kind of make dinner for his daughter. So I think he's walking down the streets of New York, heading back to his apartment, and stops at a bakery, I think, along the way.
There's a quaint little bakery. It is a place you've certainly stopped into before. Not necessarily all the time, but for a quick treat here and there. Quick gifts and birthdays and things like that. And as you step into it, the bell rings as you walk through the door. A cat kind of immediately runs up to your leg, a little orange brown tabby that just
I
sort of
usually
plops
scoop them
down.
up if they allow me.
Oh,
And
they
like hold
do.
them like a baby.
Yeah,
Oh,
they just
what are you doing?
limp armed, like absolutely lets you pick them up as you order. The guy behind the counter, is boss.
How are you doing?
So
Yes,
good to see you.
It's good to see you too. It's been kind of chilly, so I thought I might dip in to get something warm to bring back home as well. I'd have the usual, some croissants, butter croissants would be great. And anything new on the menu? I want to try something new.
Well, I've been tooling around with a new thing for the crepes. I mean, it's not perfect yet, but like I'll sell it to you if you want it.
No,
But it's
absolutely. Let's
like
go.
it's blueberries, chocolate chips. I smushed them all together. It's a big mess, but I think you're gonna like it, pal. And he goes, and there's like behind the counter just absolutely like a mess of experimentation that's been going on. But he packs you up a couple of those plus your croissants. It's not. I didn't miss the Tyke's birthday or anything, did I?
No. That's still in a couple of months. No, I'll be honest. She's been working hard in school, so I wanted to treat her to something.
Oh, okay.
New grade. She's still kind of trying to acclimate. So I just wanna. She's doing hard work, and I think hard work should be rewarded.
That's pretty good. I don't have any kids myself, but my brother, he's got a couple. And I think some unsolicited advice. They love
I accept the advice. It is not solicited. Go on.
they love the positive reinforcement. They're all about that these days, like you can't, I just feel like when you discourage a kid and they never talk to you again. That's, as my sister, that's what happened to her. She's all about the punishment, and they don't talk to her for anything. So I
Yeah.
think you're doing the right thing. You're doing a good job. You're getting them treats. You know what? There's a couple extra. I'll throw in a couple extra
Thank
grapes
you.
for you, my pal. Hey, you said a couple of months. I hope we'll see you in here for the birthday. I'll get you a good deal. Couple of cakes, couple of cupcakes, we're trying out gluten-free. That's the thing now. We're doing it.
That's the thing. Actually, that'd be great because
Yeah.
she's been getting into gluten-free. She doesn't have a gluten allergy. I think it's just a thing the kids are doing now.
No, we're doing
So
both.
yes.
It's both I heard, but we're doing it now. We're keeping up. We're getting in the recipes. I'm trying a couple of things. So we're gonna take care of them. Don't worry about it.
Awesome. Thank you for this. Here's the money for it. Keep the change, as always, please.
Thanks, boss.
And I'll be honest, I'll probably be here next week because your croissants are incredible, and I'm not watching my carbs anymore. Anyway.
Oh, good. You gotta let that go. That's like,
Yeah. No.
you gotta be happy.
Carbs
Come
build
on.
happiness. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'll see you next week, though. Have a great day.
I'll see you next week.
And I'll grab the baking goods and head back. Head to my apartment.
You've raised a pretty independent New York kid so far.
Yep.
So you get back to the apartment, and I would imagine she's very good. She knows her route home. She gets there to the door. But I also kind of imagine that you watch through the secure just to make sure.
Yeah.
Through
It's more of a case of she reminds him a lot of how he was, where he was good, but because he knew how to appear good to his parents, he knew the lies to tell, the routes to walk in to make it seem like he's on his way home, and he's fully aware that Eleanor, his adopted daughter, is easily smart enough to do the same. Which is honestly why he goes for the gentle parenting, because if he puts restrictions, she'll just think of ways to go around them.
You see her kind of through the security camera, like walk up to the steps with a couple of friends that who are headed in the same direction. They give each other their hugs and handshakes. Bye, and she hustles up the stairs, into the apartment.
Yeah. And I'll describe Eleanor a little
Please
bit.
do.
She is a Afro-Latina 14-year-old girl. I think right now she probably has her violin case at her side, because I imagine she's actually coming back from practice. With a deep purple and black backpack over her shoulders. Has a mess of kind of, she insists that it's the style, but to Enoch is like, this is just a mess. Just comb it out at least, please. But a very frizzy, curly hair, a strand of blonde, very frizzy curly black hair with a strand of blonde in it that she managed to convince Enoch to dye for her. She herself is very slim and slender, has very large circular rimmed glasses, and deep hazel eyes, I think, unlike Enoch, who has deep brown eyes.
Right.
And I think she's fairly short for a 14-year-old girl. Drak don't know the average height of a 14-year-old girl, but imagine that, but shorter.
Yeah.
But she has a very intelligent glimmer in her eye. Like she's always trying to figure out a way to get what she wants out of you. Which Enoch finds both endearing and terrifying as a parent. But yes, that's Eleanor as she walks in.
And walks in is a little bit understated, because this is a 14-year-old girl. It's more like door flips open, slams behind, backpack flung on the couch, violin, however, placed gently in its cubby the way that it's supposed to. um, and like kicks her shoes off. It's like, "Hi, Pops. What's for
Hey,
dinner?"
Eleanor. Well, for dessert, trying to get you interested first, we have some crepes with blueberries and chocolate. James at the bakery is kind of trying things out, so he kind of gave us an interesting concoction that he's created. But we also got the classic butter croissants if you don't want to try anything wild or new. Also, they're trying out gluten-free stuff, so when your birthday comes around, we can get a gluten-free cake. Are you still doing that?
Oh, rad. Yeah, we can and also we can invite Jackson because
Oh,
Jackson's got that
he.
thing. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
that's
Oh,
gonna
so
be great.
you're going gluten-free for Jackson?
Well, it's solidarity. Like he just got diagnosed. So, we're trying it out together.
Yeah. I just want is it just solidarity or you've been talking about Jackson a lot recently?
Is
I mean,
there
it's
did I do something that
no, no,
like
no,
is
no.
the dessert are we doing dessert for ooh, or did you do something bad and you're like super sorry and I can get a new video game or something?
Oh,
Like what's going
you're
on?
trying to extort something out of me.
I don't
First of
know.
all, I never do anything bad. I'm an angel. Never done anything bad a day in my life.
Okay.
No, there's nothing going on, and I guess now I know that if I do something bad, crepes will smooth it over. So I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
No, I just felt like getting something, honestly. Honestly, getting this for you was an excuse for getting it for me, because if I got it for myself, you would eat it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for dinner, I'm probably gonna make something quick. Do you want some noodles?
Oh, yeah, noodles sound great. This is the last time though, because then I'm doing
You're actually
the
going. Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yes.
doing it. But yeah, you know what? One last noodles. That'll be good.
Exactly. Your
Yeah.
last gluten. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Cool. All
I'll
right.
I'll go to the kitchen. So I think this is like a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
A small kitchen, and a connected like open plan to the kind of common living room. So he goes around and starts making some noodles as Eleanor futs around behind.
Yeah, I think she like just kind of instinctively, like as you're starting to cook, like tosses her backpack up onto, the kitchen counter, like running through homework, doing things, like occasionally like Snapchatting some friends, like doing all of that while she's watching you cook, maybe puts on a little bit of music to get the vibe going. As like that sort of dance that you're doing, this like really familiar, comfortable routine. You're occasionally joking back and forth, like she's tasting the noodles to make sure they're good. She sneaks a taste of a crepe early before dinner's finished while your back is turned and you catch her. There are like all of these just like very cozy, familiar moments that are happening. And there's just like a slight little turn in your stomach at one point, almost like you can tell you're about to be struck like by like feeling ill or dizzy or something like that. It just stills you. Um and just the steam like going off the pot as you hear her in the background like just making like a voice memo for some friends in a group chat, and her voice sort of like mumbles and gets muttered and uh fades just a little bit, and you hear a second voice mumbling alongside her. A different voice. Saying something. It's inaudible. But I would like you to give me a intelligence and insight roll.
Ooh, okay. Intelligence. Okay. Ooh. Interesting. I'm so nervous now. Is there difficulty?
So anything 6 or above, let me know how many of those you get as successes, and let me know how many ones you get.
Okay. 3 successes. And I got one.
Okay, so 2 successes. So you hear this mumbling alongside of her. You hear, Enoch, listen to me. Enoch, listen to me. It is garbled, but you make out those words. And then you
I
hear, wait, what do you do?
I whip around to look for anyone else in this apartment.
You whip around as you see her looking at you. Hobbs? You you good? The garbling, the audio disruption is gone. It's back to normal. The pot is boiling over behind you. Where'd you go?
I'll be honest, I'm not sure. Okay, can you get me a paper towel as I come trying to wipe down?
Yeah. Okay. And she runs to the kitchen towel, like, oh my God. Wow, is this what it's gonna be like now? Are you this is it. I've heard about this. You're getting old. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not that
It's
old. I'm like 30, okay? I'm 32 years old. That is not
oh,
old. My
the
life is just
grave is
beginning.
calling you.
Okay, go back to your friends. Your newfangled tech. Back in my day, we used
She
smoke signals, okay?
she said, "R.I.P. my dad." And she like on Snapchat is joking as she photographs like the boiling pot of water. And dinner goes so pleasantly. She's a good kid. She gets her homework done. In between Snapchats, she enjoys dessert with you. It is honestly, aside from that, a really nice night at home. I think, oof, we should she is a really cute kid. We should pan around to, where am I here? It's time to visit Fanaa. Oh, wonderful. Fanaa, we are visiting in a just sort of on the east side of Central Park in on the museums lane. There is sort of a park that is adjacent to museum, library. There's a couple of college campuses and dorms and things like that are around. And like there are very few spots in the city that are truly quiet, truly serene. And like even here, there are still the sounds of the city, but they're muted, they're far away. As we kind of drift inward to this sort of secluded little square park, that's both like sort of park and arboretum. There's like, plants and a little bit of like displays of different wildlife, benches. There is also, there is a whisper bench here that you frequent. It is it's a nice like stone bench where it has like a special power of natural architecture where if you sit on one end and the other person sits on the other end, no matter who sits between you, you can whisper back and forth to each other and no one else will hear you. There are all kinds of little bits of magical architecture and plants here. And where would we find Fanaa in this place?
We would find Fanaa sitting on one end of this whisper bench, this bench that is in the shadow of a neem tree. Given that this is an arboretum, there are lots of plants and trees here that don't naturally grow in New York City, the neem tree being one of them, but they have managed to cultivate one. There's a plaque, I think, off to the side talking about how this was donated by different people from their sister cities. And we can see Fanaa, who is this, I think, like average height, 5'5", soft build, deep brown skin person sitting there. Across the bench, in the middle of it, is scattered a open messenger bag with notebooks kind of scattered around. And we find Fanaa with their short, dark blue hair, curly, kind of hanging down over their face, reading a book in this very moment. And if the camera sort of pans down, we can find that the book is a book of Sufi poetry.
I'm so sorry, my mic got disconnected again. Reading this book of poetry, there are lights that overhead that illuminate this book for you as we are like fully in night. Sorry, hold on one moment. Let me reset my mic for captions because my mic is being very finicky and I'm so terribly sorry. The lights that are illuminating the park illuminate the poetry that you are reading. There is otherwise like a nice, like kind of blanket of darkness that kind of falls over the park. There are still a couple of other people around who are not bothering you in any way. They're kind of distant and away, doing their own thing. Groups studying, maybe a couple or two on a date or something like that. But for the most part, it's getting emptier and quieter. What can I ask what kind of poetry Fanaa like is drawn to most?
For sure. Fanaa is buried in this book. And I think important to note is that while there aren't that many people around, Fanaa makes sure to keep their eyes sort of down and at this book, their hair covering it to ensure that nobody would be able to really see what they look like.
Mhm.
And for Fanaa, it's always the same things. Poems that were written by people centuries ago, decades ago, long dead. Poems about life, about death, about love, most of all. always about love. That is the through line for everything that they read.
As you read and find these different poems, some I assume that you've read before, some that are new and kind of like exploring both. I would love for you to make me a wits awareness roll.
That is one success. We are staying true to the curse. I need everyone to know that I rolled 7 dice and I got 1 success.
Okay. Okay. You find yourself on a page with a poem about the like desperation of new love, of first love, the panic it brings, the endlessness that it feels. It enraptures you. It talks about the devastation, the longing and hunger that it leaves you with when it ends. You read this poem and forget to look up for just the duration of this poem. When your eyes glance back up again, the park is empty. There's no one around, no one here. The lights are shining but dim against the black night sky above you, as this place is encircled by buildings, and the lights of the city that normally keep this place day 24/7 are not breaking in these walls.
And when Fanaa looks up, the moonlight and all of the other lights illuminating this park hit their eyes, and you can see that they have complete black scleras and what feels like an infinite myriad of silver discs for pupils, all different sizes, some small, some large, and they all move independently of each other as Fanaa looks across the park to make sure that nobody else is here. Their hand, one of their hands going up to their neck, rubbing it, and you can see as well where they touch their neck there is a tattoo of a snake that like wraps around the entirety of it like the trunk of a tree and comes up to their jaw.
For a moment, it is peaceful. And then you see her standing kind of back against the building, a girl in tattered jeans and a ripped flannel. You've never seen her before, but she is there now. She's got her leg kicked up against the back, and she notices you and starts to walk, then starts to run up to you.
As this person starts running up towards Fanaa, I think they very quickly like start to scramble and gather the things that are sort of strewn along this bench, trying to tidy up a little bit, thinking that maybe this person wants to sit down and I'm in the way. So they're kind of just like busying and putting everything into their bag. And when the person approaches, still looking down at their bag, not up at them, is just gonna say, "Sorry, I'll be 1 second, and then I can give you the space."
Whoa. No. Stay. No, you got to stay.
Finally looking up, at this person. Do I know you?
No, no. You are just. I've seen you around here. But you're very secretive. You keep to yourself, but I try to catch you. I've been trying to find you. Oh, I'm sorry. Amber, I know, I do that. Hi, nice to meet you.
And Fanaa, I think, will very slowly and tentatively raise a hand to hold hers and shake it. I'm sorry, why did you want to find me?
You grab her hand. It's warm, like super warm, like hot to the touch. Yeah. So I wanted to find you, cause I don't know how to say this without being. I hope this is not rude, but your eyes, you know how you have like this eye.
Contacts.
Yeah, of course. Contacts that you wear every night to the park to read in the middle of the night,
It's
right?
thematic.
It's a bit cool. Okay. Great. I really was hoping. I know that you seem like you're scared of everything because, with the hair and the fact that you were going to run away from me, unarmed lady in
I
flannel,
don't
but
mean to be rude, but is there a point to this? I should go.
right, no, a point. Yeah. So it's just that, look, I oh, I would love if you would throw me a bone here, because I feel like you're definitely not just
Maybe
wearing
there's some in
contacts.
the museum, but although they're closed at this time of night.
Is that a you know? All right. Um, and she just like sort of kind of concentrates for a second. Her eyes turn this like yellow, uh, like canine color and flash for just a moment, and then go back to normal human eyes.
And the wave of realization washes over Fanaa as they watch this transformation happen. Oh, oh. I and I think Fanaa immediately, having finished packing up their stuff, picks up the bag and holds it, like not like slinging it over their shoulder, but holds it with both arms in front of their stomach
Mhm.
and stands up. I should go. And starts to walk like backwards, not turning their back to Amber. Starts to walk away. I think you may have the wrong person. I promise you that there is nothing here that I can offer you.
Dude, I so don't want to eat you. Like, I don't. I really don't want to eat you. I promise. Like, I'm being so serious about that. I really don't. But I you
Can I do
there
an
are
insight check about that?
yeah, you can you absolutely can. Yeah, let's do an insight and a wits check.
All right, because that feels interesting. Also, I get, thanks to my remarkable feature, I get +2 dice to interactions with strangers. So I'm gonna add that. I swear to God, the dice hate me. 9 dice rolled, 3 successes.
Wow. All right, but 3 successes is not nothing. I'm not discounting that. She you for every instinct in your body is telling you that she obviously wants to eat you. However, you are alone in a empty park in the dark with no one else around, and she's not. So, like, there's some disconnect happening between those two things that gives you a little bit of pause.
Okay. You have 2 minutes to say what you need to say before I leave.
Oh, that's so gonna be a problem. I am not succinct. So, all right, here's the thing. Look, so I've been like watching you for a bit, and it's not all right. I didn't. All right, that sounded creepy. I haven't been watching you. It's just I come here because it's like there's a cafeteria, there's free food, and you know, lights and books and stuff and things to do. So I come here. Anyway, you're here also, and I see you, and I see the whole thing. You're very broody, and you've got your eyes, and they're very dark, and it's goth, and it's very cool. You look very rad, but also, you seem so then. Anyway, I have been hearing like these mutterings, these things. I try not to get too involved with the whole like, you know, are you, are you a kindred or are you it's too much. I don't like to I don't like to get involved with it because well, people tend to why why is my microphone doing this to me? Sorry. I'm so sorry. Um okay, we're in. Uh I try not to get too involved in the whole politics of it. It's too much for me. Um but I do occasionally have to go because there are like big werewolf meetings and sometimes there's food. And anyway, everybody's been talking about well, I think it's you. I don't
I
you've got some sort of I don't know. It's like everybody well, everybody. A lot of the kindred are apparently fixated on you for some reason.
fixated is one way to put it.
Mm.
Predators fixated on prey, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. I
Yeah.
already knew that, but I appreciate you trying to warn me, and if that's all that you had to say, I think it best if I go.
Oh, well, that's all I had to say, I guess. But like, well, I just figured you seem to not like hang too much with the whole vampire politics and I don't really like them either, so I thought maybe I could help and keep you know keep I could. And she like does the werewolf eyes again. She's like, I could help a little with that if you want.
You want to help?
Uh, well, I mean, it'd be something to do. I could like in the day, I could like keep watch for, you know, mutterings of folks that wanna. chow down on you. I'm just, you know,
Why do you want to help?
well, you know, it's just I kind of I don't think any of us like being hunted. I don't like being hunted, so
Are they after you too? And I think something in Fana's countenance changes at that. Like they have found a light, something to hold on to, something to grab onto.
not the same ones that are after you, but um, you know, short answer, yeah. There's just not the same. Uh, not the same hunters. Different hunters.
Fana takes a step forward towards Amber and looks at them very seriously, all of their pupils fixated onto Amber's face.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
If they are after you and you're still here and you have access to the politicals going on, that's very important. That's actually quite helpful. How do I know you're not lying to me?
Ooh. Uh that's the best I could do.
Uh, and I think you can see the like math going on in Fana's head as they are trying to calculate, is this worth it? Is this person trustworthy? And I think they ultimately remember that there is nobody else in this park. And Amber's not wrong. Fana shows up here most nights alone, by themselves, no one else to talk to, no one else to be with. And honestly, it feels kind of nice to have someone here, someone that they don't feel like they have to run from necessarily, maybe, possibly. And so, perhaps despite their better judgment, Fana will take their pinky and wrap it around Amber's.
I did not think you were going to do that. Oh, amazing. Okay. Sweet. So cool. Look, no worries. I'm going to go get some rest cuz it's just, you know, kind of a school night, I guess. I don't know why I said that. I'm not
This
in school. But I will.
Amber, I need to make it very clear that I may have did the pinky swear, but this doesn't mean that we are perfectly good, okay?
No, you got it. Trial run. You got it. Absolutely. So yeah, you know what? Tomorrow night, nighttime, because I know, you know, because of the thing. I'll be here and I'll let you know any neat intel I got for you.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't believe I am doing this, but okay.
You so are. And she runs off, like, kind of like trips over her like baggy pants like a little bit as she runs away, and then gets out of frame as she runs off and out of the park.
And as soon as Amber is out of view, Fana's whole body just kind of like releases. They were so tense during that entire encounter, like shoulders up, muscles like um, uh, all tensed, and everything just kind of releases. A deep breath, kind of exhale, comes out of Fana's body. I'm gonna die again.
Kim, think we need to switch over to Kim. This is not terribly too far away. More close to where the nightlife is a little heavier. The sound of people getting ready to go out, people pre-gaming, people partying, limos arriving at destinations. Even on a weekday, it's still a pretty frequent sound. There is there's a bodega that has decently priced cigarettes even for this neighborhood. What do we see as Kim walks in?
It is quite visibly clear that this is not the first bodega I have visited this night. As I'm making my way forward, almost imperceptible with the thump-thump of the nearby clubs, my long black boots, knee-high, are clicking on the sidewalk as I ignore the streetlights and the crosswalk light. There's no cars. It's fine. I'm carrying a plastic bag at my side, and it is laden with something heavy and oily, kind of pooling at the bottom. Shrugging a thick, heavy coat closer to themselves, they simply walk into the bodega. About 5'5", Korean, stark red hair, and quite visibly wearing clothes befit a nun. They move over to the counter. Can I get a pack of Reds?
The older lady behind the counter looks curiously at you as you make that request. Almost goes to reach and then pauses. Sorry, cigarettes? For you?
Reds, yes.
Okay. And grabs a pack off the shelf.
As they reach for that, I will also reach over and grab a chocolate bar, put it on the counter. Look over, find a stick of gum, put that over as well, and begin to ruffle around in my pockets. Pull out a motley of change. There's a crumpled $1 or $2.
Costume night, it's too early for Halloween.
You can keep the change.
Okay.
Swiping the items, I begin to step outside, and as I'm standing there in the dark, I begin to unwrap the pack and prepare one of the cigarettes. As I always do, I take a moment to draw it underneath my nose, giving a good whiff of it, and I look around, taking my time.
As you light the cherry of this cigarette and enjoy that very first moment of solitary smoke outside in the night, another person kind of exits the bodega that you didn't know was in there. Was probably behind a shelf. Is a young man who stumbles out and then does the same, a little intoxicated though, as he tries to pack his cigarettes with a little bit of a drunken demeanor. as just like a car headlight goes by, it illuminates him and you recognize him. He's not someone who's currently on Ime's list, but he's someone you've ruffled up before for Ime. And he catches you in the same light just as you catch him. And as he's doing this like drunken packing of his pack, you see him realize and you see him get that like moment of sobriety as he looks at you in abject fear for a moment.
My countenance seems undisturbed as I begin to turn towards him, pull out another match, strike it, and hold it out towards them. Been keeping out of trouble?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, keeping out of trouble. Uh-huh. I don't even go to that club anymore. I'm so done with trouble. I go to this strip club on 46 now. I'm not gonna make any.
I step
Jeez.
forward, and I am close enough that one might perceive this to be an intrusion of personal space. I can smell the tobacco, the alcohol on him, and the match is burning low. It's beginning to grow hot on my fingers as I hold it out steady, unblinking.
Shaking cigarette like approaches and he takes the light, eyes locked on you. Thanks. Yeah. And of course, I hope you have a great night, and I hope that Madame Ime has a great night, and I thank you once again for the valuable lesson you gave me by kicking my ass that one time.
Mid-sentence, once I drop the match, I reach forward and I grab him by the chin.
Uh-huh.
If I distinctly remember, I told you I never wanted to see you here again.
Oh, yeah, you're so right. You're so right. I'll find another place to live. And he just like gets up his stuff and like hobbles and and runs away with his cigarette lit and kind of trailing smoke behind
As
him.
he's leaving, I look down at the ground and I say, shit. I pick up the cigarette that I was trying to light, and I totally dropped it in this moment. I just begin to take draws off of it.
I think, and we only have a few minutes left, but I want to pan over to Ime's club. Ime, can you give me a description of said club, please? Oh, you're muted, my love.
Of course I'm muted because I'm a good bean and I sat here and
You're
didn't
an
talk the
amazing
whole
bean.
time. The club on the outside it almost looks like a speakeasy where the front is a laundromat. So you walk in and there are inoperable washing machines, dryers, things like that. And then you go past like some of the laundry carts and there's a door, and right outside the door there is a tall, very tall, well-dressed bouncer. And she just kind of, would nod as she saw people that she knew, stop and ask people for passwords that she didn't. And then you descend the stairs. And as you do, the entire walls are black and red velvet. The lighting is low. It is pulsing with just very intense energy. There are cages that line different platforms, a DJ, there's fog machines. There are dancers that are dressed in leather and lace and latex and harnesses, and there are collars that line the walls, and there are riding crops that also kind of just like are statement art pieces. There's a few different bars. The main bar is on the bottom floor, and that is where there is stacks of very high quality liquor, amongst other libations. Um, Two very scantily clad bartenders, and there is a stage in against the wall in the back that has a platform where a DJ would be, but instead it is me. I am sitting there on a throne surrounded by beautiful people on very plush silk throw pillows. And I am wearing a full cat suit with thigh-high boots, and my long red braids are just cascading over my form. I am wearing a collar that is beautifully like dripping with diamonds. And to my right, there's a very beautifully chiseled black man. And I'm just kind of looking at the crowd as it starts to pulsate, and the energy is beautiful and fierce, kindred and mortal alike, just dancing to the beat of their own drum as enigmatic pulses wave through the speakers.
Thank you. And amazing, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
There is a thrum in this place. Everybody kind of moves in rhythm with each other and everything, especially when you are in the zone, when you are feeling good. Your dancers are feeling good. Your bartenders are feeling good. And the vibe in this place is good. And it all starts to flow together. You see your dancers making money. You see your bartenders getting extra tips. You see the drinks, the pours overflowing. You watch as this sort of like orchestral scenario plays out in the music of this place almost to the beat. And a dancer kind of comes up and like kneels down next to you and like just sort of like reaches out comfortably. They're comfortable with you most of the time here, and like reaches, grabs for your hand. This is one of your human dancers, and I was like, this has been a great night. I've made like way more than I planned to. It's kind of popping in here, but I would really love it if I could go home.
By all means. You've worked hard, you've earned your keep. You've
Yeah,
done well.
Well, before I go, I mean, anybody need feeding?
I kind of look to like my gathering, and they're all kind of just like they're involved with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I shake my head, but I lean forward and I kind of just very casually drag my finger along the underside of their chin, and I say, "Not tonight, darling. But you've performed well. Rest well, and I will see you tomorrow night."
Thanks, Ma. All right. I'll
Of
see you
course.
tomorrow.
Hey,
And-
hey,
Hmm?
if you need anything, you let me know. Before daylight hours.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
I kind of give a wink and I like send them on their way.
Scampers off. It is one of the great nights in here tonight. The energy does not stop. It is pretty excellent. In fact, it becomes hypnotic. A little bit of the flow of the night starts to evaporate as the beat from one song into the next, into the next, into the next, they match so well. They hit so perfect. The bodies sweating together, dancing together are rhythmic and moving. Your employees coming to you and, you know, grabbing you drinks, getting each other covered. All of these things are just moving so seamlessly on this night that you start to relax and feel like sort of sated and sedated even by it all. I would like for you to make me a wits awareness roll.
Okay. So, okay, just so I know, how do I roll it? Do I just, oh no, never mind. I got it. I'm clicking too many buttons.
You're doing so good.
I got one success.
One success, one over a 6. 2 successes.
Two successes. I got two successes. I'm sorry.
Okay. Got it.
I should
Awesome.
have put my glasses on.
You're so amazing. So with 2 successes, you start to like sort of relax, drift off, like as if you could almost just kind of relax and let this night happen. But in doing so, the rhythm of this room sort of sends you into a little bit of a trance. Something that does not happen to the Ime of now. Something that does not happen to the Ime you've been for many, many, many years. It is a very mortal feeling to be this disconnected, to be this taken back by things. But still, it happens to you. You feel this trance. You hear, though very clearly, a cacophony of voices. You in your life have helped, touched, met many people. You hear them all, and they say, Ime in a vibrating unison. Ime, they are coming. Break through the veil, Ime. Break the veil. Break it.
I think through this trance that I find myself in, I am almost clutching onto the arms of the throne. So much so that it starts to crack under the weight. Break through the veil.
Before they do.
Who's
and you
they?
see a visage of smoke like billowing towards you with the image of these bestial faces just about to emerge. And then you kind of snap to the smoke is just this fog machine from the stage. It is the fog you see every night. You see it, it is normal. The music gets louder. The laughter and the flirting and the drinks flowing is back to normal.
I very slowly sit up. And there is an obvious look of confusion and concern on my face. I look over to Kane. And he kind of recognizes that there's something off.
Mm-hmm.
And I just say, Kane, fetch me one of the boys. I'm feeling peckish.
Of course. No hesitation. Gets up. Brings you one of your favorites. And
Oh,
we
yes.
we will bring us back to this, to our next session of Enemy of My Enemy. We will get the next chapter next week, next Friday at 8 Eastern Standard Time. We have met all of our vampires, all of our hunters. I think that Drak, do we have any outstanding housekeeping to do before we do some outros, or
Not that I can think of. Obviously gonna say again, thank you, Demiplane,
yes,
for
thank
making
you.
this the home of Enemy of My Enemy, and Hero Forge for supporting us as a sponsor. But other than that, no, I don't think we have any other housekeeping. We go to outros.
Drak, why don't we start with you, my love?
Yeah. Let me unmute myself on Google Meet. There we go. Hi, I'm Drak or Draconics. You can find me on Twitter at Draconics. That's DRAKONIQUES. I'm a teacher, RPG performer, producer. I actually play product lead as I have been for this. Don't know if you could tell, I was very stressed, but the stress kind of melted away as I saw everyone role play just absolutely incredibly. Got an incredible cast and an incredible storyteller. So I'm very excited for the stories we're going to tell in the future. God, what else? Yeah, I played Enoch, the, according to Eleanor, old dying man. uh, it was kind of fun. I'm excited because we have like a general idea of what's like happening, but the way Dylan's kind of setting it up, no one has any clue exactly what's going on. So every single thing he's dropping, we're like, what the hell does this mean? What's going on? I'm scared. You know, see you next week. It's gonna be a ton of fun. I'm gonna throw it over to Amihan.
Hi. Yes. I'm Amihan, also known as the Rose Cleric. It's the Rose Cleric on any social media platform you can find. I'm a TTRPG artist performer, and I've been Tiwala today, or T for short. Sounds like they see they. Ooh, oh, almost dropped my dice. Sounds like they got problems and issues. So if you enjoyed them, you might enjoy my other character, Calais, on Capricious Provenance, an AP audio drama
What a good
fusion
name.
podcast about four friends finding themselves in the midst of a post-war political revolution during an apocalypse. So, you know, similar vibes maybe, I'm not sure. But yes, I'm the producer, editor, and narrative designer of Capricious Providence. It's my baby, so check it out on Twitter at capriprov. That's CAPRIPROV. I can't spell. But yeah, if you want to see what else I'm up to, just look in my social media. Enjoyed enjoyed everybody's introductions today. It was fantastic. I'm going to pass it over to Matt.
Hello, beautiful, wonderful people. There you go. Dylan's got it. Thank you so much for joining. The vibes are impeccable. I've had music in the background, and I swear that it was synced up so well that I was like, it's just truly a transcendent experience at the minute. I played Auguste, our very serious, sad trash boy. And yeah, I make the Adamless. That's my primary thing. I GM the Adamless, which is award nominated Starfinder show. I'm never gonna get sick of saying that. Which is you can listen or watch in actual play form, which is on our YouTube, or you can listen to an audiobooked version that has music and less mechanics talk and sentences moved around and all this beautiful stuff. It's great. And I am gonna move it over to Stella.
Hello, I'm Stellaluna on Twitch, Stellaluna TV on all other social media. Today I have been Kim Raelyn, and I do all kinds of TTRPG stuff. The only thing that I really have to shout out is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time over at my channel, Stellaluna, I'll be running a sponsored one-shot of Sad Cowboy Nights, and I'm really, really excited about it. It is Inevitable by Soul Muppet Publishing, and I hope you can come join us. And I'm going to pass it over to my divine Raven.
Oh, darling. Thank you. Hi, I'm Raven. You can find me at Wreck-It Raven all over the interwebs. I play Madame Ime, who is mommy. I don't really have much to shout out. You guys can catch me on Wednesdays at 2:30 p.m. over on Captain Robert. We do Stormforge, which is a D&D 5e Pathfinder 2e like conglomerate. It is really fun. It's a lot of homebrew where I play a very sassy Draxy sprite. There's a couple other things that are in the works that I can't say yet, but I'm really excited, and this cast is amazing, and I am so honored to be here. Who am I supposed to call on? Sorry.
Hi, it's me.
I'm so sorry. I had to take medicine and now I'm sleepy.
Do not worry about it. It is all good. I will take the talking stick from Raven. Hello, everybody. My name is Hamnah, and I use any and all pronouns. I am a TTRPG performer and producer. You can find me on all of the social medias at LilithTTRPG. And today I have been Fanaa, who uses they, them pronouns, who I think maybe has a friend now. Maybe, I don't know, either has a friend or somebody who's going to try and murder them. So I guess we'll find out which of the two it is. If you like what I do, one show that I want to shout out tonight is also, for the good news, is the award-nominated Itaewon by Night returns for season 2 on Tuesday, May 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time over on Bad House RPG. So go check us out when that happens. I play Cerise over there, and all I have to say is ACAB, Cerise eats cops. So
Hell yeah.
that's fun. And that's all I have, and I will pass it up over to Dillin.
Hi, I have been Dillin or Super Dillin. I use she, he, and they pronouns. Please use them for me. Whatever. And I have been delighted to have this cast behind me. I am so excited for our next session when we get these weirdos together. And I'm so thankful to Demiplane for doing this. I'm so thankful for Sin, who has been behind the scenes making these transitions so smooth and so effortless and so wonderful. And I'm thankful to everyone who's been involved in this process. We will see you next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday for the next session in this Chronicle of Enemy of My Enemy. Go have a good night, folks. Mwah.